Let's move on to this next clip.
A lot of us confuse cash with credit. We think the credit cards are cash. They're not. You got to pay that back. And then you have charge cards, which is a whole nother situation that has to be paid, within 30 days. So all credit is, it comes from the Latin word credito, credibility. So credit is a form of credibility. When you have credibility, somebody says, hey, versus paying me now, pay me later, you can use this to charge it for now and pay me later.
You got any credit?
Yeah.
Okay. Took me a while to build up credit. I started working on my credit in prison. Thank God for his one dude. I'm not going to mention his name, but he helped a whole bunch of us out.
I was in his class.
He helped a whole bunch of us out, man.
And the guy that had the class?
Yeah. Little dude.
Dude looked at Chinese a little bit.
No, this one's
You know who I'm talking about?
No.
Had his own class?
I'm no little black dude.
Okay.
And he just told us, he broke it down real simple. I was like, that's it? All right. You should have gave me a formatted letter, right? This and that. So this and that. And I'm like, okay, dispute that. Tell them you want this off, this and that. Bam, 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 bam. And by the time I touched down.
700.
No, I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but I know it was pretty decent. And I was ready to start from scratch. I started with a secured credit card, a $300 secured credit card with my bank. And now I'm going to say this, right? I went to one branch of my bank, and the lady, she asked me questions, and I answered them, and I got denied for a secure credit card. I'm like, wait a minute, how do I get denied for a secure credit card? I'm giving you my money, and I'm in part of your bank. I didn't understand that, so I waited like a month or so, and I went to another branch. And I was like, listen, I want to apply for a secure credit card. And he didn't ask me these questions that this lady asked me. And he processed. He's like, okay, you're good. You should receive your card in 7 to 10. I said, that's it? He's like, yeah. I was like, wow.
So what was the difference?
I don't know.
Even know.
I don't know.
Skin.
But I do know this. I said, I'm going to try it again.
And it worked.
Because ordinarily, with the mind frame, I don't even like, see, that's what I'm talking about, man. I can't, man.
Get back to this.
Yeah. And so I went back. But what I did with that credit card now, that $300 credit card, I listened to what people say. Knowledge is only power if you use it. They say, man, we'll get you started off with a secure credit card. Buy only gas or something. Just buy and pay it. Buy it, pay it off. Spend $40 and pay it off. Spend $30, just pay it off. And so I started doing it. I charge it. I wait 3 days when it clear, because it's already connected to my account. Pay off. And so what happened was,
that was giving you
my score started going up, and little by little, some things started changing, and I started going to some other things, with that number, and I started, I call it. Somebody just gave me a term for it, for doing fake business. I started going places as if just practicing.
Yeah.
As if, I started I would see
I'm interested, but I'm really not.
Right. And just seeing how to do it. I would see spaces for rent in a shopping center, and I called them, hey, I was just, I saw that you have a space for rent. I'm like, what's the square footage, first of all? Right. Okay. And so what I did was I started in the city, and it was in the city I was in. What's the average cost of square footage in this city? I say, so wow, so you're talking about that's going to be X amount of dollars per square foot. Yeah, I say, well, is that negotiable? Because I remember hearing from somebody else that's successful say, everything is negotiable. They're like, well, we'll see. What is it you're trying to do with the place? I said, well, I was considering maybe putting a barber shop or some type of service in there. And then he says, well, we don't have one there. It would be really great to have something different in there. In my places, most of our shopping centers, we don't try to have not the same entity in the center. I was like, oh, okay. So now I'm learning when I look at a space to look and make sure there's not something else in that that's like mine. If you go in the hood, I didn't see there's a shopping center down the street here. There's 2 or 3 barber shops in one shopping center. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the? So, but I'm learning. Okay, I know what to look for now. I'm starting to learn. And I'm learning about negotiating. And okay, and they said, are you looking for month to month? You looking for a 2-year lease? Okay, well, what are you doing for a 2-year lease? Am I going to be locked in the same price? And so anyway, I'm asking all these questions. And I'm learning, all right, I appreciate your time. I'll get back to you. And so I'm starting learning. And cars, I learned how to buy cars. by going in fake shopping. The last thing I'll say about that is I went into Avis car rental sales. And I was like, listen, I was looking at like a 010, 012, 14, something like that. And I'm like, I want to know what the average payments would be for that if I get that. And he says, okay. All right, well, we got to run some numbers, and took my driver's license, took some information from me. And he came out. I'm just faking. He said, you can drive off with that today if you want. All we can do is go ahead. And I was like, what do you mean today? He's like, all we can do is some paperwork. You can drive off with it today and we get payment started. And I was like,
no money down.
I'm going to hold off. I appreciate that. And I learned something. I was like, oh, shoot. This number thing worked. And I started going from dealership to dealership.
Till you got what you...
And I'm practicing with numbers. I said, well, listen. Somebody told me in prison, he was a car salesman. He said, listen, 0 money down, also 0 money at signing. Don't let them trick you. There's 2 different things. Tell them when you get your credit score, don't tell them 0 money down, 0 due at signing. You ain't paying a dealer fee. Dealer fees are fake. Mm-hmm. There's no such thing. They put them in there. Everybody's used to them. There's no such thing as dealer fee. And tell them if you're looking at a new car that you want to see the invoice. And that's the price that's the receipt that they paid for the car. You want to see that. And you want to start from that number and negotiate. And so, man.
That's over smart.
Yeah, I went in there,
Let
man.
me get that invoice, man.
I said, yeah, that's great. Could you do me a favor? I said, could you do you mind grabbing the invoice for this car for me, please? It's like, yeah, we'll get in a second. So, like, what?
You're not talking about the thing on the side of the car.
No.
On the window.
No, that's a window sticker.
Right. They have a different invoice?
Yes, they have an invoice that they paid for the car, and they have to give it to you if you ask for it. Could I see the invoice? Okay, and when you see the invoice, they may have it marked at $32,000. Okay, and then with all the other stuff added on, it might go up to $37,000. Okay, but their invoice may say $28,500.
That's what they pay.
Right. And so you say, I'm going to start right here.
Okay.
Okay, because anything over cost is profit.
For them.
Right. And they get money for moving cars, not just selling them, but they get money just for moving cars. So if they only make $1,000, like, listen, $28,500. I got
29.
I'll give you 30 cash. I'll go. That's as high as I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Okay, but they're making a profit on the car. And what they lose here, when Grandma Sally comes in,
they're
going to make it back up on Grandma Sally. Okay? And so I started learning, like, oh. So you got to put something down in this car. It's like, listen, all right, listen. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to sit in there and do this.
Oh, hold on. Let me see. Okay, yeah.
I went to the Toyota out here, and I wanted a midsize. I was looking at the Camry. I wanted the Camry XSC. I liked the way they looked. I drove it. I wasn't really happy with the drive, right? And so I like the remote start. They didn't have a remote start. The remote start was going to be, they said we can do it, but it's going to be extra $3,000. I was like, $3,000? Come on, man. And he looked at, had my credit score, and we had ran the numbers, this and that, so on, and this and that. And he's like, all right, we can do it for $299 a month. I'm like, listen, I told you I'm looking for $279 a month. Okay, that's all I want to do. And he says, like, we can do $289. Okay. I'm like, listen,
$10.
I really appreciate your time. Okay, but I gave you my number, and I said, and I walked out. Don't be scared to walk out. I walked out.
You down.
The manager ran out the door. He says, hey, listen, $279 a day. You'll take it? I said, is that where remote start? He says, can't do that. I said, I appreciate your time. Now, if you're going to be wealthy, do think like wealthy people. Only buy things that hold value and that you're going to be able to use.
That's what's up.
So that's what's up, man. That was our financial talk.